Thanks for the warning. It is time to start. Loud. There we go. We can't control the volume, so if that just blared your ears like it did mine, you turn it off. I did that on purpose, Brian. It's time to dance. I'll be right here waiting for you. Maybe it's my side. Maybe it's my microphone.
This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who have been listening to the show over the years, maybe the last week or the last month, I am so grateful to you and welcome back. But if you are new to the Lillian McDermott radio show, I have been waiting for you. This whole journey of mine has built up so that we can continue this journey together. And anything that I've experienced prior to you, you can latch on and learn from me. And anything that you've experienced prior to me, I can latch on and learn to you. It's about learning and growing and providing a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my viewing and my listening friend, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of our dreams or your dreams. And for those of you who would like to be a part of the show, share your thoughts, share your perspective, maybe motivate me or encourage me, you can always call 407-373-5959. Now, I was taught the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. But I am certain that there are times that I have not treated people the way I wanted to be treated. But here's the deal. When you're a child, that rule works because the world revolves around you as a child. So if I treat others the way I want to be treated, where does that begin? Does it begin by my own instinctual preferences? Or does it begin by what our parents teach us? So it turns out to be treat others the way your parents treated you. I don't know. How does that work? So today I want to talk about not the golden rule so much as what I was taught when I was growing up, but maybe a twist to the golden rule, maybe the platinum rule, something a little bit above and beyond what we were taught as children. Treat others the way you want to be treated. But there's a twist to that. What if I don't want to be treated the way you treat me? What if I have a certain expectation of myself and what I want for myself and what I consider holy or what I consider beautiful? What if I have a different opinion of what honesty and integrity is from you? What if? I do not want you to treat me the way you want to be treated because maybe we have a difference of what we call treatment or what we called a standard. So today, I want to share a little story about my reasoning and why I came to this decision and how this whole philosophy of treat others the way they want to be treated. I even wrote an article about it in Florida Today called A Twist to the Golden Rule, because it's been plaguing me for a long time. And there's a certain way I treat people that maybe is not the way they want to be treated. And I get that. And it's up to each one of us to say and have a voice and say, this is not acceptable. And it be okay. It should not ruin friendships. It should not ruin marriages. It should not ruin your career because you say this is not acceptable. But the people who love you would listen and say, you know what? I understand and I get that. Today, because it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I want to share some of the, thoughts, lessons that I've learned along the way about going beyond the golden rule. What does the golden rule look like? And can we tweak it a bit today together? Also today, I'm excited because it's that time again where we get to talk about our health care. It's not about sick care, it's about health care. And I look forward to having Del Billis of Liberty HealthShare joining us at the end of our show. And if you have never heard of Liberty HealthShare, you're in for a treat because that changed my life and how I practice my freedom of choice when it comes to health care. So with that in mind, I want to ask you the question, how do you want to be treated? What do you find acceptable? What are the things that are happening in your life that you're not speaking up about? That perhaps somebody is treating you the way they want to be treated, but that is not what you want. Share it with me at 407-373-5959. What is that? And I'm going to continue our conversation with you when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. This we'll be right here waiting for you. I was about to just do my closing. I was ready to close the show, Brian. I was going to say, this is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. I'm done. I guess we need to just stop the show now, Brian. What do you think?
All right, sounds good.
See ya. Oh, I'm tired. I'm a little tired today, but I need to change that because when we perceive ourselves as tired and I proclaim I'm tired, I will act tired. But I am regenerating right now, right here, because this is a topic that has been plaguing me for a while because something's been happening in my life and I've been noticing little things and I've been putting it off to the side. But it just came crashing down this morning when I realized, I wouldn't do that to anybody. So that would be something that would be a value of mine. So should I speak up? What would you do? If somebody you love is doing something that really is bothering you, but in the back of your mind, you think, if you say something, they'll think you're petty. If you say something, it might ruin the friendship. If you say something, you might look like a fool. So what do you do? What do you do in a situation like that? Comment below. Has that ever happened to you? Share with me your story as to maybe a friendship that you were afraid to lose or a relationship you're afraid to lose, and you compromised your belief that you did not speak your truth. How did that work for you? It doesn't usually end well. Has that ever happened to you, Brian? I think I lost Brian.
Sorry, I was on the phone. What happened?
Jeez. You are funny. Are we ready to go back?
We got 5 seconds.
5 seconds. So, don't worry. We'll continue our conversation on the air.
When you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow together. Today, I am your teacher. I have an issue with that word because I always feel like I'm not the expert. I'm the friend who brings the experts to the show and the teachers to the show. But the reality is we're all teachers. We're all students. Just know that the person that's in front of you perhaps knows something you don't know. So today, I'm going to share something that I've discovered through the years. And this morning, I became aware that these feelings were within me, and there's a value that I hold dear in my heart, which is integrity and communication and honesty. And so I felt that was kind of violated. And I could say I'm a victim, but at the same time, I can say that's not going to support me. What's going to support me is to speak my truth. And so today, we were planning all along to do a show on the twist on the golden rule, which is treat others the way you want to be treated. But there are people who steal, and there are people who cheat, and there are people who lie. Obviously, those people don't mind being treated that way because that's the way they're treating others. I don't think so, because if somebody did that to them, they would be offended or upset, right? So everybody has this idea of treat others the way you want to be treated. I'm going to tell you a quick little story. When my husband and I first got married, he is very helpful in the kitchen, very helpful. And the Medina girls, Medina is my maiden name, the Medina girls, and in my family, and I don't know if I learned this or if this is something that is in my DNA, but when I go visit my family, I see where I get it. When we prepare and when we cook, it seems like we keep doors open and cabinets open, and that's the way I prepare food. Whenever I'm going in and out of things, I leave things open. And my husband, who is very helpful, would come in and he would clean up my spoons, close my drawers, do things when I would walk out of the kitchen. And so I came back and everything was put back into place. Everything was closed. And keep in mind, I am still cooking. I am not done creating in my kitchen. And so I mentioned to my husband that I wasn't done with these things. And so he would come in and I would go out, and of course everything was open and he would do it again. So at one point I just got, frustrated, and I said, if you want to be helpful, ask me how you can help me. And I was frustrated at the time. And because I have to open everything again. It's just my creativity, the way I think. Well, I left during the time after I had spoken to my husband, kind of a little bit more frustrated than normal. And I went outside to do something. When I came back in, every cabinet, every drawer, everything was open. Now, he thought it was funny. And at the time, I did not think it was funny. I thought it was disrespectful. Now, when I go back and I tell the story 25 years later, it's funny. I could see the humor. At the time, there was zero humor in me. That's not how I wanted to be treated. So that awareness 25 years ago, it was like, ask how you can support me. If you want to help, then ask me, how can I support you? How can I help you right now? I might say, I don't need any help right now. Or I can say, maybe after I'm done, you can help me with the kitchen. Perfect. And so that's how you establish boundaries. That's how you establish different ways to love one another. So one of the wonderful teachers that I've had on the Lillian McDermott radio show was Gary Chapman. Now, Dr. Gary Chapman wrote the 5 love languages. So for those of you who are nodding your head going, yeah, I know, well, that's wonderful. Wonderful that you've heard of Gary Chapman. But here's the thing. He brought a new truth to me that I did not realize, that everybody has a love language. So my love language now, maybe when I was younger, it was, oh, I love gifts. Wrap it up in this beautiful bow. I don't care if there's nothing inside of it, but just wrap it up. And so that was important to me at the time. But now, not so much. Not so much. I love a gift. Don't get me wrong. I love whatever you want to give me. I love that. But my value and where I love now more, and it could be because I am so busy, is the gift of time. So Gary Chapman talks about the 5 love languages. One of them is quality time. Second of them is act of service. Number 3 is words of affirmation. Good job, great job, wonderful, and be sincere about it, of course. And then 4th is physical touch. And then the last one is receiving gifts. And I think that in our lifetime, that kind of shifts around a little bit. So if I were to give my husband a beautiful gift, a box with, something in there that he wants, that he would like, but he would love it. He loves it when I cook a wonderful meal, when I prepare something, because his love language is acts of service. So where I'm trying to get to here is, if I were to just, with me it's just time, with giving time, if I were to just sit there and give my husband time, that may not be as strong a value of his love language, where for me, that now is just through the roof. So it's getting to know the other person just as you know yourself. Know what your love language is, and know what your friends, your partner, your loved ones, what their love language is, so that you can now give the way they would love to receive. Sometimes people just don't understand what their value is and what their belief is. Maybe they should take a test. Take the test on the 5 love language. You can go to the number 5 lovelanguages.com. That's Gary Chapman's website. I'm not getting paid to promote him. I just felt that I love taking the test, doing the assessment, because it helped me see how to communicate better with my husband, how to love my husband the way he wants to be loved. But here's the thing. We have got to say what it is that we need. We have to say, this is not acceptable, as I said at the beginning. We get to establish what our parameters are. And if the other person refuses to engage in those parameters or to acknowledge those parameters, and after you've exhausted the fact that this is how you want to communicate, and you've asked how they want to be loved, or this is how I want to be loved, this is how you want to be loved. Not always, but it's my top, and then, a combination and creating a balance is always good. But if the other person refuses, like if I still go into my kitchen and every drawer and every cabinet is open, then now I would think my husband would be mocking me. Or maybe we're in the middle of engaging with humor or something. Maybe we want to relive that moment. It all depends, because timing is everything. Because if I'm upset and I see all those drawers and doors open, you're not going to get happy Lily. You're going to get frustrated Lily. And with my Latin temper, and maybe not a good Lily. But this is the way life is. We get to communicate what our needs are. So part of treating others with a golden rule, and maybe going to that next level and calling it the platinum rule, or treating others the way they want to be treated, when you go to that next level, where it's not just, well, I thought she would like it, or I thought he would like it because I love that. We give gifts to people that we would want to have ourselves. But would they want to have that gift? Think about it. Ask, what do you love? How can I best support you? What do you need most today? How can I acknowledge you? Maybe that's their love language. So that is how you discover how to build a relationship, which is discover what their value is. And it's not so important to go back like if my husband and I go back to that moment where he had all the drawers open and we sat there in anger and frustration and tried to figure out, why he did this and why I did that, it could build into another argument. So maybe rehashing is not the answer to a disagreement, or if you treated someone the way you thought they wanted to be treated, but it backfired on you. Perhaps the question should be not, well, I did this because I wanted to defend and defend and defend. It would be, well, then what can we do moving forward from this time? How can we love one another, respect one another, value one another, and not violate that trust or that confidentiality or whatever it is you're dealing with at the moment? And I had said at the beginning of the show, if you want to share, what's happening in your life right now that perhaps somebody's not listening to you. Perhaps someone hasn't been curious about what your experience is, and maybe they've been a bit too critical about it. So call 407-373-5959. So today we're talking about the platinum rule, or a twist to the golden rule, whatever it is that you would like to call it. So I talked about the love language. How do you give to the other person so that they feel like the question that Gary Chapman asked, and I just absolutely love this, is how has your, like, it's a love bucket. I always talk about an emotional account, and if my emotional account were money or a bank account, then it would be bankrupt, or maybe it would be overdrawn, or maybe it would have abundance. What is your account? And this is how you're feeling. But he says it, what has filled your love bucket today? I love that question. How can I help fill your love bucket? So then the next one is like, instead of rehashing, ask how we can move forward from this point, establish some boundaries, be curious, not critical, and then lead by example. Don't drag the other person, but lead by example. I love the fact that although I have chosen a way of eating, my husband, who I'm talking a lot about today, has taken his own path. He's getting to his own decision, his own conclusion. I hope I haven't forced him there, because it's been 5 years, but he is coming to his own journey. I've had my yellow brick road, and he has his yellow brick road, and we're on that journey, but maybe at different paths, and that's okay too. So how do we work together to continue to love each other and follow that golden rule in a twist, the platinum, treating others the way you want to be treated? And we're going to continue our conversation when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. I hope my husband doesn't think the show is about him, because he's not that vain. I quoted a song. Did you hear that, Brian? I know you're not even listening to me.
Carly Simon.
You're listening to me. Whoa.
I actually got a phone call before. I wasn't just ignoring.
Well, I'm glad. But no, my husband isn't vain. So I was quoting, was it Carly Simon? Yeah, that's it. Carly Simon. Okay, so are you having some issues with someone? Well, are they taking you for granted? Maybe they're treating you a certain way and they don't even realize that they are kind of violating your boundaries. So how do you do that? How do you talk to somebody? How do you say these are my boundaries? Well, that's the point of saying, moving forward, can we agree to this? Can we agree to this? And oh, look at this. And there's the handsome Del Billis. How are you?
Wonderfully well. Thank you very much.
Guess what we're talking about today?
Oh, tell me. I'm anxious.
A twist to the golden rule.
Oh.
Instead of saying treating others the way you want to be treated,
Uh-huh.
which serves us when we were kids because the world revolves around us. Who wouldn't want to be treated like I want to be treated as a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as we get older, that doesn't support us anymore. It doesn't support us. I want to be treated the way I want to be treated, and I'm sure you want to be treated the way you want to be treated. But what if we want to be treated differently? It's like the government that says to us, this is the only way you can practice healthcare. And we say, no, we want to practice HealthShare.
right.
But anyway, so I'm so glad that you're on.
In fact, I would make a little twist to it as well.
Oh, yeah?
And that is treat yourself
Ooh.
the way you would want others
No,
to treat you.
you need to say that on the air.
Okay, I will.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because I talk about this all the time. And Brian, keep me honest, because now I'm just like involved with Dale. Wait. So I'm glad that you're talking about that, because I have a question that I ask when I'm coaching. And the question is, who are the top 5 people in your life? Name the top 5 people in your life.
Yeah.
So if I were to ask you, I don't want me to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Can you come up with 5 people that are the top 5 people in your life?
Instantly.
Who are they?
Well, number 1, of course, my wife, Kathy.
Okay.
Number 2 is my best friend, Dan.
Nice.
Number 3 is my work colleague, Drudy.
Okay.
Number 4 is my health and wellness coach, Sue.
Nice.
And number 5 is my brother, Dave.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, and this goes along with what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Where are we on the top 5?
Ooh, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the question.
I love because you know what? I am a life coach, and I answered that without me the first time. I'm not, and so let's talk about that too.
Yeah.
But let me just finish my thought, and then I'll bring you in, and we'll have
Happy to.
And Brian, you let me know when my time is up, okay? He's being a listener today.
Ah, there
yes.
You go.
So glad. Yeah, the music has been really loud today. We can't do any. I get these complaints underneath, like the YouTube video. Music is loud. We can't do anything about it. Yes. Oh, let me get my social media and all that stuff going.
Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where we always learn and grow together. The show is heard worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. I am your host, and today I am sharing with you a twist of the golden rule. I wrote an article about that, a year or so ago. It's been something that I've been aware of for a long time, and I'm just now beginning to express it. It's some people may call it the platinum rule. Instead of treating others the way I want to be treated, treating others the way they want to be treated. It just makes sense. And of course, Dale Billis will be coming on later on, and he's my sponsor. Liberty HealthShare is a sponsor of the show, and he came up with some incredible insights, and I'm looking forward to bringing him on the show in a little bit. But right now, I just wanted to share a little bit about how you can support me. This is the how you can best love me. And right now, I am looking to grow the show. And so the Lillian McDermott radio show, whenyouneedafriend.com, is where you go to support me, where you support us, where we work together and we create a community of responsible people that are looking at their mind, their body, their spirit, and they're taking 100% responsibility for everything. I know that we can fall victim, and give yourself that victim mentality for maybe 2-3 days. After that, jump out of that role and say, how did I create it? What are the gifts and lessons? Number 3 is, what's going to be different? And number 4, how can I use this to help others? That's the 100% responsibility page at whenyouneedafriend.com. So I'm asking you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com, become a subscriber, check out my social media, follow me in my social media, subscribe to my website, subscribe to YouTube. That's how you can support me. This is how you show me you love me, believe it or not. And when it comes to radio terms, but in life, you know, that doesn't really matter. In life, with my personal friends and all that, yeah, you better subscribe to me. But here's the thing. When you do this, you will get some free gifts, as well as you will be able to have the show sent right to you, to your tablet, to your smartphones, and you'll get the inside scoop of what's happening, and the show will be delivered to you, whether it's the YouTube video that has the on and off the air conversations or the podcast, depending on what you want. And so, because we treat you the way you want to be treated, and that's how you tell us what you want, right? Okay, so go to whenyounneedafriend.com, and I always ask this because I love to treat my sponsors the way they want to be treated. And I know they're sponsors of my show because they're aligned with me, but also I need to promote them. And this is how you can help them, is by checking them out and figuring out a way you can support them. And one of my favorite sponsors that everybody, even after the show, I get calls, I get people telling me, text me their address, text me their, it's Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare, you can find libertyhealthshare.org. And we're going to talk with Del Billis in a little bit because he's going to tell us what's the latest in the healthcare industry. And so also you can email me, call me. If there's anything that you need, then call me, let me know if there's a particular topic. I'm working on some topics that people have sent me ideas for. So please know I listen to you. And speaking of listening, we need to listen to ourselves. We need to listen. Part of that golden rule and that twist of the golden rule and the platinum rule, which is treating others the way they want to be treated, is that we need to take ownership of what it is that we want. Because if I don't know what I want, and I used to say this to the kids all the time, if you don't know where you stand, you will fall for anything. So it's so important that we know what we need so that we can ask for what we need. So I want to encourage you because the beginning of the show, I talked about, discover the value, discover your love language, your partner's love language, your friend's love language. Be observant, curious, not critical. Curious is the word that I'm looking for here in order to keep these friendships and relationships and treating others the way you want to be treated. I don't want, if a robber, a criminal, I don't want to be treated like they're treating people. And so does that mean they want to be treated that way? Absolutely not. So we need to be aware of how we're coming across, how the other person wants to be treated. So ask the question and be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need? How can someone help me today? And say, you know what? This is how you can support me. You should be able to say what you need without feeling that conditional love, that if you don't respond a certain way, then then that other person's not going to be happy. So that's not a win-win. Create win-win everywhere you go and create that loving golden extension to platinum, to whatever it is that will give you that filling of the love bucket, like Gary Chapman talks about in the 5 love languages. What fills your love bucket? And so with that in mind, when I talk about the golden or the platinum rule or that twist to the golden rule, I can't imagine anyone else other than Liberty HealthShare. The government says, and I said this off the air and I'll say it again, the government tells us how we need to practice our sick care. But Liberty HealthShare helps us, empowers us to inform us that we have choices and we can choose how we want our health care to be. And since I'm so grateful that Liberty HealthShare is here, I've got the founder and chairman of Liberty HealthShare, Mr. Del Billis. I am so grateful that you're here. Thank you for coming on, Del.
It is my pleasure. Thank you, Lillian, for your invitation. And I just absolutely love your topic today.
Thank you.
Because it really is expressive of the formulation, the foundation of healthcare sharing.
Yes.
Just in its very term, it's sharing. It's doing with and for others how they wish to be treated. And I love your twist to it because it's other focused. That's I can't possibly treat another person the way they choose to be treated unless I know what that is.
That's right.
I've got to be focused on them. I've
Yes.
got to be a inquirer of
Yes.
others,
Curious.
and
Yeah.
curious and other focused. And that's an ancient principle found in the Bible. The Bible says, look out not only for your own interests, but for the interests of others.
Yes.
And it's that principle that we've turned into a solution for healthcare in the midst of this national debate. It's on everybody's mind. It's a topic in cafes and homes and kitchen tables everywhere. How do we solve this healthcare crisis? And this is the ancient fundamental principle of resolution for healthcare. Can you believe that?
I believe it, brother. I say amen.
Because health sharing is relational healthcare. It's
Yes.
being engaged with others, providing support and care. It's being there for them at their time. It's not about just simply paying the bill. The cold, sterile process of health insurance, paying the medical bill, that's only a part of what we do. But we provide emotional and spiritual care and support and engagement with one another. That's why it's so holistic and approaches healthcare as it was originally intended. I am just thrilled with your topic.
Interesting.
Right on point.
Yeah, interestingly, when I was sharing with you the topic, you were like, you made a comment, and it was very important, and it was and I was like, okay, we're going to talk about this. You said, most importantly, instead of treating others the way you want, that they want to be treated, treat yourself how you want to be treated. You said that right before, and I'm like, okay, let's talk about that, Dale.
Yeah, because there is an underlying assumption in Jesus' words that says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So the question really becomes, how do you treat yourself?
Yes.
You treat yourself with care, with respect, with love. Do you think of yourself as worthy of attention and focus? If you don't, your bucket is empty, as you said earlier, and you're unable to reflect that toward the needs of others. And so there's a focus there, not only just treating others the way they wish to be treated, but how do you treat others the way you treat yourself? That changes that dynamic significantly, because we've got to look at self-care as well as the care of others.
Yeah, you have to become aware. And for those of you who want to learn more about Liberty HealthShare, Liberty HealthShare is not just a sponsor of mine. I have been a member of Liberty HealthShare for over 2 years. I made a choice to walk away from insurance, and it was scary at first, but when I chose to opt into a health share community, Liberty HealthShare, what did it for me was because I practice a more holistic, because that's how I want my healthcare to be. I want it to be holistic. I don't want to be told by somebody else that I have to go to an allopathic doctor, although I do go to them as well. I want to have options. And so for those of you, go to libertyhealthshare.org, and we're going to continue our conversation when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. This time is flying. Why is it every time you're with me? Time just flies down. Isn't it interesting that we get upset when someone treats us a certain way, but yet we don't know what we want?
There you go. Yeah. And we don't articulate it even. We don't spend time in self-conversation, self-reflection as to what really is of importance to us.
Yes.
And how we wish to be cared for and treated and supported, etc. You're exactly right.
Yeah, it's
self-awareness.
Yeah, it's that simple conversation with somebody. What do you value? And, when I had Gary Chapman on the show, gosh, he was on the show, I think, in 2015. So it's been a while. He has a test that you can take at 5lovelanguages. I think I have it right here. It's fivelovelanguages.com. And so Robert, my husband, took the test and I took the test. And it's amazing. I became very aware that my love language today versus when I was younger. I used to love, hey, give me the big diamond ring and the fancy clothes and all of that. Oh, that made me happy. It doesn't anymore. What makes me happy is time. I love time, the gift of time. As a matter of fact, my kids are coming over this weekend, Dale, and we're going to spend time together. That's my birthday / Mother's Day, because Mother's Day and my birthday were like a day apart. So because all my children are busy, they picked a day and that day didn't happen. So this is the second day and I'm thinking, I'm just excited anyway. But they know I will open the door like a dog that has been alone all day long, wagging its tail, and I'm licking their faces, jumping up and down. Imagine that with my kids and grandchildren and their spouses and their significant others. And so that's going to be me this weekend.
That's great. A Mother's Day reprised.
That's right.
I loved it. Love it.
I celebrate my birthday. So my birthday's in May, and I celebrate my birthday from May to December. I take a break from January to April, and then I start celebrating again from April.
Again. Oh, I'm liking that. Yeah.
So if anybody missed my birthday, you can still send gifts.
Yeah.
Gifts of time. I love gifts of time, homemade gifts. I love things like, what about you, Dale? What do you love? What fills your love bucket? With the question that
words of affirmation.
Affirmation.
Words of encouragement and cheer. Those are incredibly meaningful to me. I've been a habitual people pleaser in the past, and I understand as I gain insight into that urge, it's really based upon my need for acceptance and approval. And so I just want to be sure that I focus on that in a healthy, creative way, and not be the people pleaser, but simply, as we've been talking, focus on others appropriately.
Very good. That's a very wonderful awareness that you have within you. I know that in my notes today, I have the 5 A's, which is the affirmation, affection, attention, acknowledgement, and I got to figure out, I've got to look for my 5 A's somewhere in here. I'm sure that you would love those 5 A's.
I'm all about them. Yeah, that's right.
Here we go.
Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where we always learn from one another. And today I am excited. Not only did we get to talk about the twist of the golden rule or the platinum rule, whatever it is that you want to talk about, treating others the way they want to be treated. But we also have the privilege of hearing the wonderful soothing voice of Del Billis, who is a partner in the Lillian McDermott radio show. And for those of you who want to learn more about Liberty HealthShare, I cannot speak highly enough of this group. I have been with them for over 2 years. I walked away from insurance and I went towards making choices for myself, learning what I wanted, how I want my health care to look like. And you can contact 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-585-4237. Or you can go to libertyhealthshare.org. Fabulous. I love what you're doing. And Dale, I got to meet a little bit more of you as we were talking off the air about your love language. And when you said it, I'm like, oh, I should have known this, because when you talk about the notes of affirmation and support that Liberty HealthShare, share a little bit about that, and how Liberty HealthShare is so different than the typical health insurance or sick insurance.
Thank you. There is a conversation going on in America about healthcare that's wrongly focused, in my humble opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's focused on paying for the costs of medical care through insurance.
Yeah.
It's not focused on the care of our health. And unfortunately, the term health care has become conflated with health insurance. And we've got to understand those two concepts are totally separate, and we need to address them independently. And Liberty HealthShare is a way for us to gather together in a like-minded community of faith and values where we truly care for one another, support each other during times of crisis, and help pay each other's medical bills. So it's a multifaceted relational healthcare system where my money every month, Lillian, goes to another person. Mm-hmm. It doesn't go to a company. It doesn't go to Liberty HealthShare. It doesn't go to a company black hole. You literally, transparently, openly on your online account, see your money flow from your account to your assigned member that month. We ask our members to set aside a specific suggested what we call a share amount. Mm-hmm. Currently, it's $2.99 for a single, $3.99 for a couple, $5.29 for a family of 3 or more. We don't count more than 3. And that money goes into a secure online account matched through our online technology to another person. Mm-hmm. Now, pause for a moment and think about how dynamically different that is. I'm not sending a premium to an insurance company somewhere. Yeah. I'm setting money aside, and through our online technology, it assigns that to a real, live, breathing human being who has an expense. And I get to share in their costs. That's why it's called a health share. Mm-hmm. And I can message them with cheer, with encouragement, with prayer, whatever the case may be. And then we cut the check out of that receiving member's account to the doctors and the hospitals. Using that methodology of relational health care, we're sharing about $25 million of medical bills every month, Lillian. Wow. That means people's lives are being supported, cared for, transformed, and changed every month.
And I want to add to what you're saying that even though my money goes to somebody else, when I'm in need, their money comes to me.
Precisely. It's reciprocal. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that not only is my money going to assist another person and pay their bill, whenever I have an expense, then that same group is there to help take care of my costs. And it's reciprocal, it's supportive, it's mutually engaged. And that's why it succeeds so well. That's what our members tell us, frankly, Lillian. It is among the top 2 reasons why they love it so and wouldn't do it any other way.
Yes. And for those of you who are listening for the first time about Liberty HealthShare, they are Affordable Care Act exempt. They are truly affordable. Let me just put it this way. And you can choose your practitioners, whether it's holistic or not, allopathic. It's up to you. You get to choose. And it's $1 million per incident, up to $1 million per incident. Where else can you get that? It's time to take our health back and our care back and make the choices. And let me tell you, Liberty HealthShare, you're the epitome of listening to what we need. Because of that, now we can do chiropractic care. I can go to a doctor of Oriental medicine and feel that somebody's going to help support me during that time. So well done, Del Billis. Well done.
Thank you so very much, Lillian. It's just about empowering the individual to care for their health.
That's right. That's right. And for those of you who are interested and you're like, I want to learn more because that's what I did, because that's how I found out about them. I did an interview. And so it's 855-58-LIBERTY. That's 855-585-4237. That's 855-58-LIBERTY. And that's libertyhealthshare.org. Del Billis, you are an amazing man. It is always so exciting when I get to spend this time with you because that fills my love bucket.
Well, it is my pleasure as well. It honors me. Thank you, Lillian. God bless.
Thank you. And for those of you, again, when I made the decision to add whether I was going to be added to my husband's insurance or I was going to go with something different and new, I chose to go with something different and new because it saved me more than $200-300 a month. It was going to cost me a lot more than that if I would have joined my husband's insurance, and I wouldn't have been able to go to the doctors that I wanted to go to anyway. So learn more about Liberty HealthShare. That's libertyhealthshare.org, and that's 855-585-4237. That's 855. What is the one with the fives? 855-58-LIBERTY. And it's time to take our health back. Del Billis, one of my favorite people that comes on every month. And I love how we have the that we switched you to the end so that you can say, says Lillian McDermott, wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance, right?
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity to do that.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm looking at I'm looking at my 2 minutes to end. Oh, okay. So we're not done yet. Is that okay? I was told that we were ready to close, but we're not. So here we go. Let's keep talking, Dale.
Okay, I want to add a very simple word to what you've just been talking about today.
Yeah.
Healthcare sharing comes from this conviction that we are to care for one another in this supportive way, treating others as they wish to be treated, or treating others from the core of our own self-care. That's a biblical value and principle that Christians have observed for generations. It comes from that conviction, number one. Number two, it really comes about the care about costs. You've mentioned it.
Yes.
Costs are out of control in healthcare expense today, and we can control those costs when it becomes our money. And the third driver is the care of our conscience. We don't want our dollars being used in ways that violate our closely held values and beliefs. And healthcare sharing is relational focus based upon those 3 C's. I just came up with that, Lillian. Our conviction, the focus on costs, and our conscience. That's really what healthcare sharing is about in Liberty HealthShare.
That's going to be our next topic, the 3 C's. I love that. I love the 3 C's. It's so important. You talk about how we need to practice these 3 C's. And I know that when I used my insurance card in the past, I didn't care how much it cost because somebody else was paying. But the moment I became a member of Liberty HealthShare, I became aware that there is a payment that needs to be made. And I don't go to the most expensive MRI or the most expensive blood work. I go to the one that I know is affordable. I've taken that ownership of my health. And I love how Liberty HealthShare has prompted that in me.
Well, it just changes your whole orientation, as you just said, your whole focus and attitude, because it's not coming from a company's a pocket. It's rather yourself and the pockets of your fellow members, and that just changes.
That are sending us love and cheer.
Yeah,
and with
absolutely.
That, it's 855-58-LIBERTY, libertyhealthshare.org. Del Billis, I am looking forward to our next conversation.
And as am I.
And to you, my listening, my viewing friends, please remember, it's time to take our health back. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day
ever.
Yeah, I love it when you have such a booming voice. Love it. I love it. Thank you, Dale. I know that you go from one interview to another, and it's always an honor to have you on the show. Thank you
so much.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.